Hi everyone, this is Colleen, and like many of you, I was sheltering in place this Earth Day. Well, I finally have had a chance to create this little video looking back at some of my artwork, and as they say, hindsight is 20/20. For over 25 years, I have been painting murals and scenes of nature for homes, schools, healthcare environments, and have typically focused on the diverse and fragile ecosystems here on Earth. I believe in the educational value of art, so I have hoped through the years that my paintings would foster curiosity and an interest in conservation for people of all ages. I've enjoyed sharing these scenes, and in order to sometimes maximize learning in a small area, I occasionally had to orchestrate idealized versions of these places in order to highlight the vast variety of flora and fauna. And sometimes I try to draw people into these scenes with playful interactions amongst the wildlife. While I haven't seen most of the exotic environments that I've depicted in my paintings in person, learning about them has made me care, and I sincerely hope we can all save and protect these natural treasures so they'll be there for all of us and our kids and grandkids to see and enjoy for the future. In my 25 years of research, I have unfortunately witnessed the dramatic and indisputable link between human activity and climate change and its devastating effects on these environments that I have depicted. From the North Pole to the South Pole, and from sea to sea, I have painted the rainforests of Brazil and the savannas of Africa, explored the forests of Norway and the bushlands of Australia. Unfortunately, none of these environments have escaped change. In the Arctic, scientists predict that Arctic sea ice will be non-existent by the summers of the 2030s, and this will cause wildlife populations to continue to plummet. Polar bears are expected to decline by 30% by 2050. And we've already seen a reduction in orca whale populations of 20% just since 1995. Reindeer and caribou herds have been cut by more than half. And in the Antarctic, populations of colonies of emperor penguins are expected to be reduced by 50%. Under the sea, I was surprised to learn that sea creatures, especially those in shallower waters near the coast, are even more vulnerable to global warming than land animals. In fact, warming seas are killing coral reefs and marine animals at double the rate of land-based species. I've often loved painting graceful sea turtles and was saddened to learn that unfortunately, all sea turtle species are now considered endangered. I've also loved painting the gorgeous and colorful coral reef environments around the world, especially the Great Barrier Reef, but that too is under threat and has seen an 89% decrease in new coral growth. One of the natural ways of offsetting carbon dioxide is our forests around the world. Unfortunately, we don't have great news there either. We see some dangerous trends. The World Wildlife Federation estimates that due to deforestation, almost 1/3 of the Amazon biome will be without trees by 2030. And while we hear a lot about rainforest deforestation, the boreal forests of the North and Arctic regions are also under threat, and they make up 30% of our globe's forest cover. Not to get more depressing, but one of the other favorite scenes I've painted over the years are scenes in Africa of the beautiful savanna. And unfortunately, in the years since I've started painting, there has been a 60% loss of lions, giraffes, buffalo, and other large wild animals throughout the national parks and wildlife reserves in Africa. And to finish off the depressing news, forest elephant populations in Central Africa have also plummeted by 63%. That was just since 2001. But I do believe, I'm an optimist, I do believe there is hope. We can still make a difference if we work together. And I hope that we can all come together to protect and restore this wildlife. And while none of us are enjoying social distancing or staying home any longer than necessary, we have already witnessed in real time that the pause in our normal activities is leading to clearer air and less pollution. So that I will take as a silver lining, as encouragement. It shows that our actions do matter and we can make a difference. So what briefly can we do, and not to be too preachy, but these are just some things we could do together. We can vote, and we can try to together decrease the use of fossil fuels such as oil, coal, and natural gas. We can also try to get our governments and elected officials to stop subsidies for fossil fuels, invest in clean energy, and elect local and national leaders who actually will enforce the environmental regulations on the books, not dismantle them. We can try to conserve at home, winterizing our homes, using energy efficient appliances, even exploring solar energy, which has gotten a lot more affordable. And we can consume less by reducing our car travel and use energy efficient cars, and also reduce air travel. That one's a tough one because I love to travel, but I read that one transatlantic flight actually releases as much CO2 as an average yearly emission from one person in India. So we might want to rethink our unnecessary travel. And of course, the food industry is one of the biggest contributors to climate change. So while you don't have to become a vegetarian or vegan to make a difference, you can cut down gradually, and reducing your consumption of animal protein by half can actually cut your diet's carbon footprint by more than 40%. And we also can buy local and organic and try to compost and reduce waste of food. So I have to admit that on all these things, I am a work in progress. Like many of us have good intentions, haven't always followed through. But I do know that Earth Day reminded me again of all the things that we can do, even if they're small and little things, they can add up. So while I've been very fortunate to get to share these beautiful scenes from around the world for 25 years, I did want to share with you some of the threats and changes I have witnessed, and hopes you'll join me in working in small and big ways to take care of our planet. We can do it if we work together. Thank you so much for listening.